All right. Hello and welcome back to the Traders and PJs family. Today is June 6th, 24. June 24th, 2020. It is a Wednesday. And if you traded today, you would have known that something crazy happened. The SPY fell several hundred points today. It has been a wild week, and it's only halfway through. But today we will be talking about Week 8 recap, which is last week's trading performance on the $1 million Trading Goal Challenge. And so let's get started. And okay, so as always, the 5 ways to support the channel. Number 1 is like, comment, and subscribe. Completely free. Please do so and turn on the post notifications so you know when I go live. As you can see, my post schedule is still not quite consistent as I would like it to be. And number 2 is share this content with others that you think that may find this content useful. Number 3 and 4 and 5 are links in the description below. I won't spend too much time on that. But as always, the disclaimer, remember everything said on my videos is just my opinion based on my experience trading so far, and it's for educational purposes only. Trading is very risky. Nothing I say is a recommendation or advice. Please read the description and trade at your own risk. Now, we are moving in the right direction, finally. So we have been going on quite a crazy downswing, unfortunately, but I've been readjusting the trading strategy, and I think I have found a strategy that is going to do very well and very consistent, which is what I'm looking for as a full-time trader. So last week I talked about the 4 PDUFA PDUFA announcement run-up plays, which is EVOK, EPZM, KPTI, ENDP. I am still in 2, and I exited 2. And honestly, there isn't really. I'm not even going to pull up the charts because like I said, if you look at the last week's episode, I looked at the major trend, making sure that it was at a bottom of a major trend, and then just bought it. And I was holding into the day before the announcement, and then I just sold it, and that was the whole strategy. I wasn't looking at what the chart was doing every day. I was really just purely playing the announcement run-up, and they did very well. If you look at EPZM and EVOK on the right, you'll see that they should be positive. That's weird. I don't know why EVOK shows that it's negative, but when you look at my Webull account, it shows that it's a 4-cent gainer, which is whatever, about broke even, which is good for a biotech play. And then EPZM, which is a great winner, made me $2.30 during that span of 2 weeks. And then the 2 plays that I'm still currently holding, KPTI is doing decently well even to date. ENDP, if you look at the chart today, obviously it's not doing well, but I have a lot of time on that because the announcement is not until July. Another few plays that I'm in currently, and has been doing well actually recently because of what happened today into the SPY. One is XPXS. I decided to be a little bit more risky, and I bought a $12 strike call on June 19th at 11:43 for 20 cents. And it is currently, I don't know what it's trading at, but I think it was actually below that. But then I averaged down as the SPY continued to rise, and then today it finally fell. And it really, when I heard news from Beijing re-entering quarantine due to the coronavirus, I didn't want to miss out on an opportunity that I missed out on the first time I started trading full-time, which is I knew the coronavirus existed in China. I've heard of it, but I didn't realize how fast and how significantly impactful it was going to hurt and harm the U.S. economy. And so at that time, I had bought I think it was GE and Apple calls, and the market obviously fell. So this time, I'm not going to make the same mistake. I bought 2 calls for XPXS, which is a bear ETF on the SPY. So as the SPY falls, XPXS will rise, and those are doing pretty well so far. And I also reallocated my promotion stock from Levi's and Ford into SPHD, just because it's a safer investment for my long term. There's no reason for me to hold Levi and Ford just because those were the promotion stocks that Webull gave me. All right, so let's talk about performance since inception. So it has been moving in the right direction. As you can tell, last week I was down over $50 in my small Webull account. Now I'm only down $46.90. So in a way, that's about a 10% gain in over a week, which is really good. And then on my Robinhood account, I was down $10,000, and now I'm less than $8,500 from total capital invested. And we will talk about this in my second video that I will be making today, which is what I invested in and why, and the strategy that I'm going to teach and talk about later in my second video for today is what I call the fundamental news credit spread strategy. And essentially, I'll talk about more, but essentially you're trading a credit spread based on a fundamental news, making the play very, very safe, and it should be at least. And the percentage doesn't matter because I haven't adjusted my Robinhood account yet. One thing I did want to talk about that happened this last week, which I am very, very glad that Robinhood did, and I didn't know they did, which is if your options, especially your credit spreads, are close to the money or at the money, they will actually close out your position because it's very, very risky if the stock price the credit spread you own closes in between your two strikes. Now, I'm not going to go into detail about that. You can Google that on your own. But essentially, if the stock price is close to your strike for your credit spreads, know that Robinhood will execute it for you. So if you don't want them to do that, do it yourself. But I will tell you, after doing my research, it's good that they do this because you can lose a lot of money if it lands in between your strikes and someone exercises the in the money option and then your out of the money option expires worthless. And then my long term, as you can see, it's up, but obviously knowing what happened today, next week it's not going to be as high or as up as it is in today's video. 3 takeaways. I haven't made any kind of new takeaways from this week, maybe except what Robinhood does and do some research on, if the stock price lands in between your credit spread, why Robinhood exercises it. But, I'm just going to reiterate the last 3 from last week, which is number 1, don't forget to consider high volatility events, like unexpected events like what happened today, where coronavirus cases are skyrocketing, and it's kind of expected when you see Beijing is already taking a second wave or experiencing a second wave. It's not surprising that when we reopen, we are also experiencing a huge second wave. Number 2, safety first always, and that is why I really, really like my new trading strategy, which is a credit spread beyond a point of a fundamental event, and I'll explain that in my other video in more detail. And number 3 is avoid credit spreads on hype stocks. I'd rather you just buy naked options on hype stocks because you just don't know which direction they go and they move very, 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 very wildly. And credit spreads are, they're supposed to be safe plays, but you can't make a safe play on a inherently risky stock or, I don't know, what's another word for inherently? Just a risky stock. You can't make a safe play on a risky stock. It doesn't make sense. So I'd rather you buy naked options if you're going to do that, but my recommendation is just avoid them and trade credit spreads on safer stocks. All right. So today's video will be really, really short. I will stay on. It looks like there's one person watching, so I'll stay on for another few minutes, or maybe 60 seconds, and then I will hop off and hop into my next video. So whoever's watching, thank you very much for tuning in, and let me know if you have any questions. If not, you can always post them in the comments below if you haven't caught this live. As always, please paper trade until you are familiar with your brokerage platform and are consistently profitable for at least a few months. And may volatility be ever in your favor during this crazy time. All right, any questions? I'll stay on for another 30 seconds. Okay, looks like there are no questions. Then I'm going to hop off this live stream and hop right into my next one. Hopefully I'll see you there.